If you grow up the way I did in the society and environment that I grew up on, you will relate to what I'm just about to say right now, because it's either it's you or you've met people, friends, relatives at home or whosoever when they are going through some difficult times, hardships, and let's just say they are going through serious sickness, their health is being attacked, and they are very, very sick, and you start talking to them, you hear them saying things like, if it's the will of God, I'll be healed. If not, it's okay. And then you tend to wonder and you ask yourself, what is the will of God? Exactly what is the will of God? Because it is so sad to think that as much as God is being promoted and is advertised and sold to us as a very good and a loving Father, which He is, but then how can He wills that His child or her child can suffer and be happy? Because when you read the Bible in the book of Mark chapters number 35, where Jesus says, those who do the will of God are my brothers, sisters, my mothers, and all that. That the word that is used there, the word that is used, the will of God, the Hebrew word there means it's a determination, a prolonged choice. It's a pleasure. It's a desire. It's a wish. That's what that word means. So when you say it's a will of God for you to be going through all these bad things, you mean it's a choice. It's a determination. That's what God determines for you to go through. That's His pleasure. He finds pleasure in you doing that. And then the moment you say those things, you just take the whole scripture, the whole thing, you turn it upside down. Before even I start to go deeper and explain it scripturally and doing all those things, debunking the myths of religion, just imagine you being a parent, a loving parent, because God is a loving Father. You being a loving parent to your children, will you find pleasure? Will you take pleasure in them going through difficulties, in them going through suffering? Logically. And if your answer is no, which I know is no, it is true that it is also true that you are not a better father. You cannot be a better father than the ultimate father, the high father, the great father, which is God Himself. But if God can will and find pleasure and desire, then you should suffer your whole life. And then it gives Him pleasure, while you as a parent, a human parent, will not find pleasure that your child go through such hardships. It makes you a better parent than Him. Can you be a better parent than God? The answer is definitely no. So just thinking this, just talking about this, going through this logically, you see that there is something wrong. It's either there is something wrong with the Bible or the interpretation. So just as I have said that the will of God scripturally is that word that is used as will, more especially in Mark chapters number 3 verses 35, is the word that means it's a prolonged determination. It's a choice. I like the word that is choice. You underline that. The question is, who has a choice in your suffering? Is it you or God? When you are going through suffering, who has a choice? The fact that the word they say it's a choice, it's a desire. The question that I'm going to ask you right now, let's say you are going through some marriage problems or financial problems. It's been a while. I don't care even if you are going through that because of your own mistakes. But the fact that you are suffering, it is true that you are suffering. It doesn't matter if you mishandled your finances, but you are suffering. Your children are struggling now. You cannot afford the basic needs. You are unemployed. It's been years. Looking for that job. You are sick. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you ended up there. But the question that I'm asking, if you are saying that it's the will of God, and I'm asking because that word there, it is defined as it's a prolonged determination. It's a choice. Who has the choice in your situation? Who has the desire? Because the fact that for you to say that you are suffering, for you to say that you are going through things, it's just that it basically means that the desire in you is to be free. Because if you are sick, there is a desire to be healed. If you are broke, there is a desire to have money. If you are going through difficulties in marriage or relationships, there is your desire to be happy in your relationships, to have your marriage or relationship restored. If you are unemployed, you have a desire to be employed. So who has the desire? Who is desiring that? Who has the power to desire now? Is it God or is it you? Who has the choice? And one will say, I don't have a choice. How can I not have a choice? I've been looking for this job. I'm not finding it. It means that I'm helpless. There's nothing that I can do. It is God's will for me to go through that. It is so sad. You hear hymns, beautiful songs that are sang. It is well with my soul. It is well, Lord, if it's your will. Even if my marriage breaks down, even if I'm sick, even if I'm losing everything, it is well, Lord, it is well. And you sit down and think, you're like, how irresponsible and unloving Father God is. How can He? And then you come closer, you realize that no, it has nothing to do with Him. It is what we have been taught. Because in every situation that you go through, there is a choice and there is a desire. What do you desire? You desire to be free all the time. And I'm telling you today, the will of God is your will. What do you will? What is your prolonged determination and desire? What choice do you have? Do you choose to stay in it or to get out of it? Because the moment, if you choose to stay in it, that becomes the will of God. Because the will of God is what you will. Now, if I can go through scriptures, you can see throughout the scriptures, tell that God has good plans for you, to prosper you, to give you good life. You can look that God is just the force of good, is the force of life. You go, even if you look at your body, the way you are created. When you cut yourself, the body quickly closes that and it heals on its own. When you are sick, the body tells you right now, everything stops functioning. You become stiff because your body is telling you that something is wrong. And the moment you are healed, the body goes back and becomes okay. When there is a pain probably in your toe or your knee, what happens? You have a headache. Why is the headache? The headache is telling you that there is something wrong in the system. It has to be fixed because the body is always trying to correct itself so that it can stay in health, in goodness, in love, in wholeness. And then one will come and tell you that no, God finds pleasure, because there is pleasure there in the word will, the Hebrew word there. You will tell me that God can now find pleasure in your suffering. Of course, I don't want to go in this aspect of it, because this is the world of suffering. It's true, we learn through suffering, it's true, but that's not the point. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe some other day I'm going to explain that why is this word of suffering, why do we suffer. And Apostle Paul will say the suffering of this time cannot be compared to the coming glory that is awaiting us. But it doesn't mean that we're supposed to suffer. We cannot embrace and live by the belief that our inheritance in this world is suffering, like that old people used to believe. We cannot, while God has given us this power to change our life. There is a power inside you, and that power is your imagination. Imagination creates reality. What is imagination? Imaginations are your mental pictures, your emotions, your thoughts, your inner speech. The combination of all of that, they are creating the life that you are living. Right now, if you are suffering, it doesn't matter what kind of hardship you're going through. You created it yourself. You manifested it yourself. It's either, most of us, it's unconscious. People were talking to you. The other time I heard that was a horrific accident where a mother lost her life with 3 of her children. That's a horrific accident. And as we react to those things, we react with sympathy. Some they empathize and all that. Some people are shocked. Those reactions, those are our emotions as a nation. When we react to that, those emotions, they are planting the seed again. That's why in not far in the near future, another horrific accident will happen, because we have planted that. And now, who is going to be in that accident? Nobody knows. But anyone, while you were reacting, you just got in there, you felt for them, you sympathized and all that. Some, they go even to the extent, parents, of thinking that if I can die with my kids, there's someone who did that. If this can happen, it's better if I die with all my kids. At least, no, they are not going to suffer. It's better. And they will imagine, they will think about that, they will sleep thinking on it. And when it happens next time, we will think that, oh, we are cursed, oh, they are demons or what. We are manifesting these things. We are manifesting these things over and over and over and over. And when we go through all this suffering, then we will say what? It's the will of God. And it is true. It is the will of God. Especially if you are going to admit and accept that you are God. At least accept and admit that you are the God of your life. If you can admit that and accept that yes, I am the God of my life, I am responsible for everything that is happening to my life, then at least we're going to work. Because if you will accept that and admit that, then you have a choice of changing it. If right now everything that is happening to my life is by my choice, or whether I chose it consciously or unconsciously, when I see the result, if I see it and I'm like, no, I don't like this. Now I'm sick, I don't like the sickness. You want to get out of it. It's the reason why the moment you get sick, you go to hospital. But you will go to church, they will pray for you, and you will not get healed. When you don't recover, instead of saying that, maybe there is something wrong in the way I'm praying, maybe there is something, maybe God is not hearing, I don't know. They'll just tell you that, no, relax, it's the will of God. But the moment they get sick, they go to hospital. You see that there is something wrong there. There are no truths there. And I'm telling you the truth right now, that the will of God for every situation that you are going through is your own will. What do you will? What do you want? What do you desire? Where do you find, in that situation, do you find pleasure? If your answer is no, what is it that is going to give you pleasure in that situation? That's the will of God. But if you love suffering, because some people, they love, for some reason, they enjoy suffering. They love to be bitter, eating worms and doing all those things. Calling people to a pity party and come and be with them and sympathize with them. If that's what you love. But I know deep down, you are crying, you want to be free, you yearn to be free from that situation. But if for some reason that's what you like, that's the will of God for you. Because what I want to tell you today is that what you will, what you desire, what you love, what you enjoy about this situation, that's the will of God for you. And if it wasn't the will of God, it wasn't going to happen, unless we are trying to say that God is not powerful. If God is powerful, the powerful creator that He is, it means that everything that is happening to the life of man, He wills it. and He wills it through you. You allow the things to happen to you. So today I'm empowering you. I'm telling you that you can change your life. And the situation that you are in, what you have to do, you need to create a scene opposite to what is happening to you. Start thinking. Sometimes I will have a headache, very serious one. And what do? I just imagine myself healed. I think of myself. It's hard, it's not easy because the headache, you still be feeling it here. Maybe there's a sharp pain. From normally it hits me on this side of the forehead. And what do? I lie down flat in my bed, or I use my prayer couch. This is my prayer couch. If you are watching the video, this is where I pray. If you are listening on audio, it's just a couch. So I sit there, I relax there, I calm down everything, then I imagine myself. What is it that I would be doing that I normally do when I don't have a headache? You know, when you have a serious headache, you cannot dance to music. So I imagine myself dancing to, jamming to a favorite, maybe a song that I'm enjoying on those days. I imagine myself jamming to it. That implies, in my mind, I create that scene. How would I feel if I were healed from this headache? That is implying that I'm healed. I jam to it, and sometimes I sleep on it. And when I wake up, the headache is not there. Sometimes I just drink pills, painkillers, because I want to be free. I know that it's not if I choose to stay in the pain, that's what God wills. If I drink pills, I'm going to be healed because I just want to be out of the pain as soon as possible. When I'm going through, sometimes I'll go through difficulties in relationships. The moment the things start to break down, I imagine myself happy. I tell my friends that I see myself happy. What is happening right now, it's in the past. Why? Quickly, I want to get out of the situation. It may not take a day, especially when it comes to relationship. It may take weeks. But in every day of the week, I'm imagining myself happy, enjoying my relationships. Whether it's this one or a new one, I just go to the end and I leave there. It's because I know that if I do not will or wish or find pleasure in the good things, I will stay in that pain. That's why you've been in that pain for all your life. Why? Because you think that it's God's will. The will of God in your situation is what you will. I'm asking you, are you finding pleasure in what you are going through? If you are not finding pleasure, then move in consciousness. Moving in consciousness, moving there in the spiritual realm is just changing your mind, your thoughts, align your thoughts with that which you want. And the moment you move in consciousness, definitely you will shift. Definitely it won't be long. You will shift. Because this is the truth. That which is physical is not real. The Bible says it is temporal. What is eternal? Your mental pictures, your thoughts, your inner speech, and your emotions. Those are eternal. What does it mean to say that? That means they are forever. So you go there, you shift there, and then soon your body will go with you. Jesus said to his disciples, he says, in my Father's house are many mansions. I will go there and prepare a place for you. And then when I'm done preparing a place for you, I'll come back and take you with me. Who is speaking those words? That's your imagination. Who is your imagination? I've just said it. Your imagination is Jesus himself. Your imagination is the I of you, the I am of you. Your imagination is your emotions, your mental pictures, your thoughts, and your inner speech. So what is he saying? He's saying there are many mentions. Those are the states. Right now you are sick in the body, but you go because in your mind you know how it feels to be healthy. You go there. You enter in that state of health. You create a mental picture where you are healthy. You think thoughts that are annihilate. What would I be doing if I were healthy? You think in that way. Probably you'll be planning a party. Probably you'll be going to work. Probably you'll be having good time with your loved ones. You create that picture. What would I be saying? Because right now, when you are sick, your inner speech, you are saying, I'm suffering. It's so painful. But when you are healthy, when you are whole, you are thinking about good things. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy this. It's just a great day and all that. You align that. And what is he saying? He's saying, after that, I will come. Who is he coming to take you? That's your physical body and your objective world. Once that place is prepared for you, your imagination will come back and take your body. And soon you will discover that the pain is just dissipated. The pain is gone. You are healed. So, the will of God in your situation, in your suffering, is what you will for yourself. Do you find pleasure in what is happening to your life right now? If you do, that's the will of God. And if you don't, it's still the will of God. But you have a choice. What do you choose?